Welcome, my friends. I am so excited to be here with you today and talk about 7 steps to starting a profitable SEO freelance business. So Kristen here, it's great to be with you this morning. If you're on Pacific Standard Time, if you're somewhere else in the world, I hope you're having a great day, and I'm so excited that you joined me and took time out of your day to learn with me about how to start a 6-figure SEO freelance business. Welcome to my masterclass. Today it's going to be all about SEO freelancing. We're going to dive into some of the key areas of starting an SEO freelance business, what it takes, and how to plan your SEO freelance business smartly so you can go full-time freelance, or maybe keep earning some extra cash on the side, or help your existing freelancing business flourish if you just recently launched one. I'm going to share my journey with SEO consulting and freelancing and my exact process for creating a 6-figure SEO consulting business in less than 6 months. So if that sounds good to you, stick around, lots of good stuff. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder that this is your time to learn about investing in yourself. That is super important to know that you took this time to invest in yourself and your future and learn how to grow an SEO freelance business. I would recommend having an easy way to take notes, try to limit your distractions by turning off your cell phone on vibrate, close down your email, chat windows, etc. All right, let's dive in. Firstly, I want to reaffirm that you're in the right place if any of these instances apply to you. You might be tired of the 9-to-5 rat race, working for someone else. You don't want to cap on what you can earn as an employee. As a full-time employee, you're capped at your salary or whatever your comp package is. Or maybe you just want to earn some extra money on the side with freelancing rather than going full-time. Or you might want to work on your own schedule, work on your own terms, wherever you want, whenever you want. Or you want to own your own business and have that entrepreneurial spirit. You have some experience in SEO and can show a few wins that you're a competent SEO professional. And you want to decide who you work with and who your clients are. If any of these resonate with you, you're not alone. And I believe freelancing can change everything for you because I know it did for me. If you do SEO freelancing right, you can make way more money than you can earn as an employee. You can have the flexibility to call your own schedule with no more approval from your boss. And you have the ability to call the shots on when you work, who you work with, and where you work with. One thing I want to mention before we dive in is to stick around. I have a super special bonus that I will only be giving away to those who stick around on this webinar. So I promise that you won't want to miss it and will totally be worth it. I'm really excited about this bonus and think it will be really helpful for many of you. I'll be sending out a replay afterwards so you can review and recap all this training goodness later today or over the next few days. But for those who stick around until the end, I'll give you an exciting opportunity and a special one-time bonus. So here's what you're going to learn today. A lot of what we're going to cover will be general freelance business as well as a combination of specific SEO attributes and information. If you're here and planning to go freelance, then you'll need to master basic business skills to go freelance on your own. That's just essential. There's obviously a specific way to do this within SEO, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Here's exactly what you're going to learn today. Why making the decision to go freelance can be so life-changing. How to plan your transition to full-time freelance smartly. How to get your initial freelancing business set up, how to establish yourself as an SEO expert, and then how to decide on your ideal customer or target market for SEO freelancing, how to plan your SEO products and services, pricing, that mix, and then how to find your first freelance client, since that's such an important make or break in giving you the ability to go freelance full-time or even just earn extra cash on the side of your current job. Our masterclass today is honestly one of my favorite topics to discuss. I am so passionate about the business side of my SEO freelancing business, and to be honest, maybe more so than the SEO side of it, but don't tell my clients that. So I am excited that you're here today, and I can't wait to share all this good stuff with you. I think you're going to love it. Firstly, before we dive in, I want to give a quick introduction of myself, my background, and experience SEO if I'm new to you. I've been in SEO for about a decade and honestly got my start at an entry-level SEO position at a boutique startup called Adept Media. This small startup was eventually acquired by RKG and Merkle over the years, which ultimately turned into a global digital marketing agency. Those acquisitions brought in bigger brands each time we went through that phase, and ultimately included doing SEO for Google. So the last couple of years I was at RKG Merkle, I was one of the SEO directors leading a 60+ person department and managing our Google SEO consulting accounts. So even helped train the first in-house SEO at Google. So pretty exciting stuff. Eventually, I decided to take my SEO skills in-house, Amazon Web Services as SEO marketing manager, and then ultimately director of SEO at Zillow, where at Zillow Group, I led a team of world-class SEO managers. I was able to test sophisticated SEO techniques and have a broad leadership over Zillow Group SEO. And then, obviously, over the last couple of years, well, this is why you're here to learn how I did this. The last couple of years, I've held my own consulting practice called Conifer Media. That's ultimately been my transition from a full-time freelancer to a small boutique agency owner and SEO consultant. Conifer Media wasn't the first time that I actually tried to start an SEO consulting business. So I'm going to take you back a little bit in my journey to understand where I'm at now with SEO freelancing and consulting. And my journey actually started about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more by now, with a little business venture called Holocene Digital. Holocene was quote unquote a boutique agency that I started with a good friend of mine and colleague. We registered for an LLC and started trying to pitch clients on the side of our day jobs at a digital marketing agency. So we had super big hopes when we started Holocene. However, we were not very good at bringing in clients and making any consistent money. So I think our only retainer client was $500 a month, and then we also had projects come in here and there, anywhere between $2,000 to $6,000 for a one-time fee, but that's not enough between two people where you want to sustain full-time income. So we wanted to make more money. We wanted to have a flexible schedule, but there were a few key reasons why Holocene Digital just did not work out. Mainly, number one, we weren't 100% committed. So you have to be 100% committed to your own business venture. Number two, we didn't know actually how to drive new customers and close client accounts. We kind of fumbled our way through the sales process, the proposal process, the pitching process. And then number three, we tried to run before we could walk. Meaning we tried to create an agency before actually figuring out how to freelance. So after a few years of leaving Holocene open with sporadic clients here and there, we decided to close up shop, mainly because I wasn't doing much and I wanted to launch my own independent freelance SEO business. Fast forward to 2017 when I launched my own freelancing practice. I started under my name, Kristen Bauer Consulting, and then that since transitioned into Conifer Media today. Launching my own freelancing and consulting business has literally been the hardest I've ever worked in my life, but it's also been the most rewarding job I've ever had. I've also made the most money and had the most freedom with my work schedule than I've ever had in my professional life. After a couple of years of running my own freelancing and consulting business, I feel confident to say I know what it takes to start a freelancing business while still working a 9-to-5. How to successfully and stably, that's not a word, but you know what I'm trying to say, how to transition full-time independent freelancer while maintaining a stable revenue and income, and then how to actually grow and scale an SEO consulting business. Here's a snapshot from my website where you can see some of my clients and my team, which also includes me and my husband officially. So Conifer Media does have a couple of other employees and contractors, but it's been an amazing experience in order to build my own company, work with people I love, work with clients I love, work with my husband, and drive the revenue we do and have the lifestyle we do. So ultimately, my freelance business just started as me, but since it has morphed into Conifer Media over the last couple of years, where I have a small team now. Let's get into some bottom line numbers real quick so I can show you the proof on the power of freelancing. Since making the commitment to full-time freelancing, I've been really lucky to have a steady stream of business and a solid referral network. This has been a lot of hustle here and some very strategic tactics. I've also been able to consistently grow revenue over the last 2 years. So revenue is not something that I have actually shared publicly until recently. So honestly, it's a little nerve-wracking to share this information public, but I want you to understand the power of freelancing and growing a consulting business. I first made the move to full-time freelancing at the end of Q1 in 2017, and then more than double my 2017 revenue in 2018, and then driving over $400,000 in 2018 total gross revenue. And that included me with some full-time and part-time contractors. So this has been way more mind-blowing here than I ever thought possible, to be honest. Gross revenue this year, we're headed on track to do even more with a new full-time employee on board recently, and we're cruising along with clients. So I say this to you not to boast by any means, but to just show you what's possible. If you work hard and you're strategic about it, that SEO freelancing can be a really lucrative market to get into. So why SEO freelancing? So you might be asking, why am I here today teaching you how to start your own SEO freelancing business? SEO freelancing has literally changed my life, and I want to share that experience with you so you can go freelance too if that's your dream. People ask me all the time how I made the transition to full-time freelance, why and how I started my business, and I assume if you're here today, you want to learn how to do SEO freelancing full-time and build that business yourself on the side of your current job, go full-time, or build up some extra revenue just by freelancing. So the financial freedom that freelancing has offered me has been way more than I'd ever dreamed of. And like I said, I'm not saying that to brag by any means, but just want to demonstrate what's really possible. When I first started in SEO, I was only making $35,000 a year. So $35,000 a year when I first started in SEO. And I've actually felt stressed out about money since college and worried just about making enough to enjoy a nice quality of life, live debt-free, and enjoy all my hobbies. So we have not had those financial concerns since I started freelancing. I have also been able to have more fulfillment with being a business owner and learning new business skills as an SEO freelancer. So I've never felt so fulfilled with my job. And yes, sometimes freelancing does feel like a job, but it's not in the same way. Since you're freelancing and consulting for yourself, it is so much more empowering and rewarding. Whether you're just freelancing on the side or want to do it full time, you are a business owner, and that is so cool. I have also had way more freedom with my own schedule and ability to work on my own terms. For instance, I'm a big skier and have the freedom to take ski mornings on a good powder day when it snows, and then maybe work until 7 or 8 that night. So this is a photo from last year on Whistler where my husband and I took a 10-day ski trip to Whistler. So I had actually had knee surgery shortly before our vacation, so wasn't skiing, but I had to take time off for my surgery, and we wanted to go on our vacation still, and I didn't want to tell my clients I was going to be out of office more already. So we went to Whistler for 10 days. I didn't tell any of my clients. I worked maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, held meetings, sent deliverables, wrapped up a big site audit, all from Whistler, and still was able to have a fun vacation, take time off, and not miss a beat with any of my clients. So let's dive in to 7 steps to starting a profitable SEO freelance business. Firstly, we want to talk about the freelancing market. Understanding the freelancing market is really important to validate your decision to move into freelance and make sure you understand how big of a pool the freelancing industry is. So the SEO freelancing is booming right now. And let's dive into some stats and I'll show you what the current market looks like and what the potential is. Many publications claim that SEO is dead. I'm sure if you've been in the industry, you've seen that come up from time to time, maybe at least over the last 5+ years. However, this industry keeps growing and growing. According to Forbes, SEO as an industry was valued at $64 billion in 2016, growing to $72 billion in 2018, and is estimated to be $80 billion in 2020. So the market for SEO services and technology just keeps growing and growing significantly. It is far from dead, and it's still prime time to jump in and get a slice of the freelancing pie. Another thing that's pretty cool about SEO is that SEO professionals can actually command really high rates for SEO freelancing and consulting services. According to industry studies from Search Engine Land and Ahrefs, there are a few different stats on SEO rates overall, but in general, they are pretty lucrative. The majority of SEO consultants generally charge between $76 to $150 an hour. So I don't know about you, but that's definitely more than I was making in my 6-figure leadership roles in-house. So if you are an SEO freelancer, you can work your way up to some pretty lucrative hourly rates. 49% of SEO contracts range between $1,000 to $5,000 a month for ongoing monthly retainers. And there's definitely room to grab retainers in this price point, and this will likely change over time with your business as well. And we'll talk about that later in the masterclass. SEOs with 2 or more years experience can earn significantly more per hour. So if you're an SEO professional and you have 2 or more years of work experience, you can charge on average 30% more than those with 2 or less years of experience. So if you have 2 or more years experience, amazing, you can charge a lot more for your time freelancing. If you don't have 2 years quite yet, that's okay. You can work your way up and still get a slice of the freelancing pie. According to an Inc. study, over 40% of the American workforce will be freelancing by 2020. So now is the time to go freelance. I don't know about you, but I find that being a staggering statistic that almost half of the entire workforce will be independent freelancers just within the next couple years. So now is really the best time to go freelance, with that being the norm and so many resources available for freelancers, especially within SEO. So a few things to keep in mind: that everyone is freelancing. I heard about this all the time when I was in-house at agencies, that people were freelancing or companies looking for freelancers. SEO is not going away. So as an industry, it might adapt, but like we just talked about, the value just keeps growing and growing significantly for SEO as an industry. And ultimately, all businesses need SEO. Every business should have a website. If they don't, they definitely need SEO and someone to help them with that. But every business should have a website, and every website should have some SEO attention to it to make sure that it's properly ranking and driving traffic and customers for that specific business. So every business needs SEO. Number 2, we want to make a smart transition to freelancing. So this is really key if you're looking to have a stable freelancing business and want to feel confident in your full-time job if you're employed. So if this resonates with you, you're not alone. This is where I was at, where making a leap to full-time freelance is kind of scary, but there is a way to do it smartly, and I'm going to talk about how I did that in a very smart, strategic roadmap. Firstly, you want to make the commitment. Making the commitment 100% is so important, because going freelance is not going to be easy. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It will be hard work, especially if you have a full-time job and are growing freelancing on the side before making your transition. That will likely mean you're working extra hours. This is what I highly recommend doing because this is what I did. And you will be able to build your business and get your clients in place and then jump into a stable book of freelancing business. However, it will require some extra work on the front end in order to make this reality happen. So otherwise, if you don't have that commitment, it's really easy to push off freelancing and the initial ramp up and work and just say, oh, it'll be easy to finish up my Upwork profile tomorrow. That'll be done tomorrow. Oh, next week I'll look up and apply for those contract SEO positions. And then, it just doesn't happen. So I've been there, I've done that. You need to make sure you're committed 100%. So the hustle is real, and I don't want to scare you, but I want you to be ready and prepared for that. Find your why. Finding your why will help you stay committed to your goals. So this will be your guiding factor when things get tough. My why included multiple reasons. For instance, for as long as I can remember, I've always had the entrepreneur bug. And I was one of those kids who created random businesses all the time, went around to my neighbors selling stuff. This included, as I grew older, other businesses like multiple blogs, an iPhone app, and with blog feeds, iPhone app, and then my initial failed attempt, obviously, at creating an SEO agency with Holocene Digital. So I've definitely had my fair share of entrepreneurial endeavors, but for my business, SEO consulting is really what stuck. I was also tired of reporting to someone else, deeply tired of having and a burnout on having a boss to be accountable to every day. So I had a boss in my first remote job before I went consulting that called me anywhere between the hours of 7:30 to 6 p.m. on a whim and literally said, I want to know whenever you leave your home office. Yeah, so that sucks. I had a lot of anxiety, was totally burnt out on that. So finding freelancing opportunities was not only fulfilling an entrepreneurial dream, but a necessary escape. Like I mentioned, I'm also a big skier and honestly wanted to be able to ski whenever the snow is good and not have to ask for PTO. My husband and I want to have a flexible lifestyle and not be held to that rigid 9-to-5 schedule. So all these reasons combined gave me the motivation to keep things going when it was daunting or challenging to be a full-time freelancer. Next, want to set your goals. Goal setting is so important for pretty much anything in life. I am a firm believer of that, but it's more so with your business. So think about your goals with freelancing. After 3 months, what do you want to do? After 6 months, where do you want to be? After 1 year, where do you want to be at that point? For instance, your 3-month goal could be get your business systems in place and then land one client. Those are great, achievable 3-month goals. And then maybe your 6-month goal could be making the transition to freelance full-time and you have 2 to 3 clients. So, and then 1 year, your goal could be around revenue, hitting that 6-figure mark. So these are all very achievable goals that if you plan and start this process, you can do this smartly and ramp up. For instance, my revenue goals in 2018, my annual goals were to hit 40K per month in annual recurring revenue. And I passed that in Q3. So this is just proof that goal setting really helps. Once you have these numbers in mind, once you have your lifestyle in mind in that transition, it will stick in there and you'll just keep working towards that. It'll be your guiding light. Next, we want to plan your transition early. This is really important to make that a smart transition, especially if you're worried about that security and stability. A good rule of thumb is to plan for 3 to 6 months of transition while moonlighting or keeping your full-time job. So you'll need time to get your business set up, land your first clients, and get your systems in place. I highly recommend starting this 3 to 6 months before you actually go full-time freelance to make sure you're smart about it, you're not overwhelming yourself, and you're just very strategic. Next, you want to be smart with your finances. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do know how to manage business finances, and just to be smart financially, ensure you have enough savings to weather the initial ramp up. So saving for, let's stop here. Weather the initial ramp up. So saving for 3 to 6 months is good. I think we had about 5 months of expenses saved when I went full-time freelance. And this will just help you weather maybe any slow periods as you're ramping up and settling into your mix of clients. So know your break-even number. This is really important and something that I pay close attention to before going full-time freelance. And your break-even number is really that number to make yourself whole with your freelancing income compared to a 9-to-5 job. So what do you need to make freelancing to 100% replace your salary at your 9-to-5 job? This is really important to keep in mind so that you can jump into a stable freelancing business. Next, after all of that, you really need to know when it's actually time to make the leap and go full-time freelance. So if this is something you're working 3 to 6 months towards, you want to know that end goal when you can actually make this a reality. It was really scary when I made the decision to go full-time freelance. I vividly remember that day, and I'm not going to lie, it was scary, but it was also the best career decision I ever made. So I've actively worked towards this goal for 3 to 6 months, while obviously wanting freelancing for longer than that. I had a solid book of initial clients and was ready to make the leap. And so this is what I teach and I will preach in terms of setting yourself up smart for full-time freelance success. If you're someone like me who likes to have security in your financial situation, then you'll undoubtedly be scared, but there's a smart way to do it, and this is what I talk about. Getting your new SEO business set up. This is an exciting part because it really makes it real that you are making that jump to full-time freelance. Firstly, getting your business set up before you go full-time will save you a lot of headache down the road, and it will help set you up for success to onboard and secure your initial clients. Getting your business ready includes things like deciding on a name. It can be your name or something else like Kristen Bauer Consulting or Conifer Media. Next, you want to reserve your .com domain. This is important to make sure you get a web presence up for your new freelance business. Next, you want to decide on your business structure. So do you want to be an LLC, an S Corp, or sole proprietorship? In the US, you'll likely need to register your business under one of these entities. However, if you have a sole proprietorship, you don't need to register with the state, but if you do opt for single member LLC, you will need to. And then get your EIN with the IRS. Again, this is for US residents only, and getting an EIN, your employer identification number, is helpful with contracting accounts. Next, getting a business bank account is really essential to keep your business finances separate from your personal finances. This will make it easier when you're invoicing and getting payments from clients, as well as when it comes time to do bookkeeping and taxes. You also want to get your brand set up. This will help your freelancing business be seen as legit and help you land those initial clients. Getting your brand and business set up includes things like getting your basic website set up, making sure you have some basic information about yourself, your services, your bio, and contact information. Even a single page website will do the job. And this is what I had for a long time. Then get your logo, make it official, make yourself look like a professional SEO freelancer. Squarespace, Fiverr have easy logo creation tools. You can get one for 15 bucks. And then set up a branded email. You can easily get this set up with GoDaddy, for instance, if you're hosting your website, or Google Apps. That's my preferred method, is with Google Apps, where you only pay $5 a month to have a branded email versus myconsultingbusiness@gmail.com. If it's your name at yourconsultingbusiness.com, it makes you look like so much more of a professional that clients will want to work with you more. You can also reserve your social media accounts if you plan to do thought leadership under a business entity or even your own personal entity. And then professional headshots can go a long way. So just looking like a professional is something that I talk a lot about, because being a professional helps build that client trust, even prospective clients, to get them to sign with you, as well as your existing clients to keep them. So professional headshots will help you look like a professional. There are easy ways to do this if you can afford it. You know, photographers out there, or there's a lot of information and DIY resources online to do this professionally. Next, business cards. This is something that makes people really excited, including myself. However, business cards may or may not be important depending on your target market. So for instance, if you work with local businesses, you definitely want to have business cards to hand out. If you are meeting with businesses regularly, if you're networking regularly, yes, you want to have business cards to hand out. I tend to not see my clients face-to-face as much because my clients are not local largely. So, and truthfully, it took me a while to get business cards, but once I have them now, I find I hand them out a lot more. Next, getting your initial process set up early so you can hit the ground running and get paid. This is so important as a freelancer. You want to make sure that you get paid for your work. I know a lot of freelancers that have a hard time actually getting paid from clients, and so that's something that we talk a lot about in some of my more advanced training, which we'll talk later in this masterclass about. But getting your initial process set up will really help alleviate those pain points when it comes to any confusion with invoicing and payments. Some of the important initial process items include subscribing to essential SEO tools. You will need SEO tools right away for any SEO clients. So you definitely want to make sure that you use SEMrush, Mods, whatever your favorite tool is, get them set up for your business. You can get white label services as well. You want to get your invoicing software in place. Make sure you can send invoices regularly and get paid. My preferred option is FreshBooks for software invoicing. Then establish your bookkeeping. This was a huge headache for me my first year freelancing, and one that I learned the hard way. So I tried to do my own bookkeeping at first, and it was a big headache. I remember talking to my CPA a lot, just not feeling like I was doing anything right with the bookkeeping, and it turns out I really wasn't. So I spent hours and hours and hours on bookkeeping and trying to keep records straight when it came time to get paid taxes, and then ultimately had to hire bookkeepers to backdate a year and a half worth of bookkeeping that actually saved us thousands of dollars on taxes. So it's worthwhile to establish your bookkeeping. Bench.co is a great option. Get your CPA in place to help you navigate the tax process. This is really important and tied to that bookkeeping and financial management aspect. Your CPA will help you navigate what's deductible under your new business, your timeline of taxes, all those important things. Finally, get your client management systems in place. So this includes things like how to onboard your clients, how you're managing that workflow, are you using email, Slack, what do you use for reporting, getting access to their tools. So make sure you have your process and system on client management so you can hit the ground running and feel confident when you sign your first client. Establishing your SEO expertise. This is a big concern for many individuals on whether or not they actually have enough SEO experience or solid enough network to go freelance. There are specific things that you can do to supplement or enhance your SEO experience if this is something you're worried about. Importantly, you don't need years and years of SEO experience to successfully freelance. But you do need to know SEO, and you need to be able to confidently talk about it and know industry trends. There are easy things you can do by staying on top of industry news and announcements, studies, conferences, but you don't need a decade of experience to be a successful freelancer, but you do need to establish yourself as an SEO expert. And we're going to talk about that in the next few slides. I would recommend beginning your thought leadership early to establish your credibility and build your portfolio. Getting your thought leadership out there early includes things like writing, even for your own site or other industry publications, speaking at industry conferences, local events, business conferences, anywhere you know your ideal clients might be. And networking, attending local meetups, conferences. You want to build those relationships with local businesses or individuals that you think could be great referrals down the road. And then contribute to other industry publications to get your name out there and your brand awareness out there to a broader audience, especially if people are searching for, businesses are searching for SEO online. And it's also an easy way to point to your contributions to enhance your SEO credibility. Case studies are very important. Case studies are one of the easiest and quickest ways to establish yourself as an SEO expert through case studies. Get a few case studies mapped out to highlight your wins and credibility. Everyone loves a good case study, and clients will likely ask for it during the proposal process. So this will demonstrate that you know SEO well enough to prove results and show growth. So you want to consider your target market and your services. We'll talk about that a little more later, but you want to consider these in mind when you select your specific case studies. You can add these case studies to your own website or your proposal templates is what I would recommend, potentially both of those. For sure, your proposal templates, clients usually like to see that. And an important thing is to make sure that you have data to back up your case studies. And if you want to use the client's name or brand, make sure you ask for permission first. Otherwise, you can use case studies anonymously. There's no problem with that. There are a few other ways to establish credibility and authority with your SEO experience. Testimonials are a great place to start, and if you are planning to ramp up to full-time freelance, I would highly recommend getting testimonials before you make that transition. So start 3 to 6 months in advance. Just ask clients you might work with already, if you work at an agency or coworkers or anyone that you've helped with SEO. Ask them for testimonials. Even 1 to 2 sentences make a huge difference in terms of getting that social proof that you can effectively work with people and show results. We talked about writing on your own site or other sites, speaking. This is really great for just general brand awareness and getting out there in the industry. For instance, I spoke at my first conference about 5 months before I went full-time freelance. And that was very purposeful, where I knew I wanted to go freelance in hopefully 3 to 6 months and apply to speak at this conference. So my first conference, keynote speaker, I don't know what I was thinking doing that for my first conference, but it worked out okay. I scrambled to get my consulting website up. Before that conference, I went and spoke and ultimately got some good leads down the road. Networking, very important. You want to make sure you are active in networking circles locally or within the industry at conferences, meetups, things like that. Public relations, it's always great just to get your name out there in the general community. Guest posting on other sites, like we've talked about, being a contributor. Guest posting, guest contributing to industry publications, great activity to do. Building those local relationships. You want to foster local relationships within your community, since local is a great place to start for your initial clients. And again, these are all helpful and should be done in advance of going full-time freelance because they'll set you up for success. Deciding on your target customer. This is really important since this will lay the foundation for your services, client acquisition channels, and pricing. Firstly, ask yourself, what type of client do you want to work with? Do you want to meet face-to-face? Do you want to be in a specific market, a region, or location? Do you want to work with a small or large company? These are all really important distinctions to map out the type of business you want to work with, whether it's a local business, a startup, or a larger companies. For instance, some of my buddies that are consultants have an affinity to work with smaller, more intimate teams. So they purposely seek out these small companies and startups. Other folks like to work with larger teams or more enterprise level brands, which if you have more experience, you might be leaning more in that direction. Personally, I think there are pros and cons to either type of client, but it's important to evaluate what fits your experience, personality, and interests. Next, you will want to consider your network. Ask yourself who is in your network. For instance, do you know more people in a specific niche, such as e-commerce or SaaS, or do you know more people in a specific location? For me, most of my clients are actually based in the Bay Area. I would say probably at least 80% of my clients are in the Bay Area or the surrounding region. And this is based on my connections from Zillow Group and Google and my initial clients I got, which snowballed into a larger network in that area. So those folks moved on after I worked with them, and then they brought me into other companies. So we'll talk a little bit about the power of your network and leveraging this for your first clients in a sec. Another way to narrow down your ideal customers to evaluate if you have more SEO experience in a specific market or niche. For instance, I have a specialty in real estate SEO and localized search. So this is based off of my tenure at Zillow and also when I worked with other Zillow Group brands. So I worked with real estate, rentals, real estate B2B, all of that. So now I have a handful of clients in real estate and rentals, national, international clients. Also, a lot of my clients follow the localized search pattern in real estate. So even if they're not in the real estate market, they have very complementary type of business to my core SEO specialties. For you, this could include things like e-commerce SEO. Do you work with a lot of Shopify brands, link building, local SEO? Are you really great with Google My Business, or do you have a background in content creation, maybe SEO copywriting? So these are all great specialties that you can lean on to build your client base. Local is often a great place to start for many individuals. Local businesses can be easier to connect with since they're in your direct community. It can be easier to build word of mouth within your region. So there are some specific pros to working with local, especially if you're just starting out freelancing. Number one, meeting face-to-face builds trust. This is a great way to learn how to interact with clients if you haven't done a lot of that before and build that trust. Local SEO actually follows a fairly straightforward approach. So it's not as complicated as like enterprise SEO. And so it's a little more approachable if you don't have a ton of SEO experience. Local businesses might have a smaller, more approachable budget. This is something that is easy to start off with and pitch, $500, $1,000 monthly retainer. Also, local businesses generally have smaller websites, so they are easier to manage and easier to control when it comes to search engine optimization and local optimizations for businesses specifically. Planning your SEO services and fees. I know this is a really hot topic among many SEO professionals, is really what am I offering for freelancing and how am I pricing that? Let's go back to, do you have an SEO specialty? So this is often the first place to start. If you have a specific niche you work in or specialty, do you know local SEO the best? Or are you really effective at link building or SEO copywriting? So once you define what your strengths are, then it's easier to define your products and services. Then, no matter what your specialty is, it's important to create your packages and tiers. I'm a big fan of outlining multiple tiers of packages that you can offer clients depending on what fits their budget or workflow or where they're at, their needs in their business. So this is really appealing to clients when you have options and can adjust to fit their needs, because that's one upside for them working with a freelancer, is that you can be flexible and work with them on what they really need rather than overselling them this unrelated package of services. So having a starting point for your service offerings is a great place, since you can point prospective clients to that and then customize based on what they need. This is a quick snapshot of what my typical mix of projects looks like. We have a project package, we have an intro retainer package, and then we have a full service retainer package. And these are all done on a sliding scale of price, depending on how much support they actually want. So over the years, I found that it's really helpful to have a few different tiers of retainers for clients that need more support and have more budgets versus clients who have less budgets but still want some helpful SEO guidance and support. So if you're thinking about how to structure these packages, a project might be a one-time project, you know, 1 month timeline or phased out over 3 months. You'll have specific timeline and deliverable objectives. You can also charge higher pricing for projects since it's a one-time project, or you can do hourly rates. Projects generally tend to be a little lower touch since they're not employing your services for an ongoing basis. It's for a very specific black and white, here's our goal, here's the project, here's the deliverable timeline. Retainers, so if you're thinking about how to structure retainers, the intro versus full service retainer will have different customizations depending on scope and budget. So for an intro retainer package, this will likely be an ongoing monthly retainer, introductory scope, lower price point. It's more accessible for more businesses, but it's also lower touch on your end. So it makes it worthwhile on both your end as a freelancer and the client's end to get SEO help. I tend to offer what's called an SEO coaching package, where that's my intro retainer package, and that gives them 1 to 2 monthly meetings, email access, and a report. And then a full service retainer is ongoing monthly support. It's a very comprehensive scope. We have a detailed project plan we work through every month, higher price point, higher touch. So that includes things like weekly meetings with my clients, as well as maybe Slack communication, monthly reporting, ongoing analysis and maintenance and review of Google Search Console analytics. So definitely the takeaway here is to make sure you understand that concept of creating tiers and scaling your packages. So this can be applied to all different specialties and services. How do you price your services? This is a good one. Pricing is such a big question for many SEOs. As an independent SEO consultant or freelancer, the important thing to keep in mind is that you have the flexibility to set your pricing. But a typical consultant pricing is going to be less than agencies, since that's one of the perks that clients should go with you versus a big agency, that you don't have all the big agency overhead, and you may be more affordable as a freelancer. Importantly, 50% of SEOs, like we talked about, charge between $75 to $200 an hour. So 50% of freelancers are actually charging quite a bit. And like we talked about earlier, if you have more experience in SEO, this can ramp up. Overall, pricing should be a factor of a few things, including your experience and years in SEO. That 2-year mark, you will be able to charge more. Your mix of services and your product packages, those tiers that we just talked about, who your ideal client is, and understanding common budgets within those clients. Like a budget for a local business is going to be really different than a budget for like a Series A SaaS company. Then we want to think about the competition. So what's the going rate for your specific niche or product? Again, if we're going back to local SEO, what are rates for other local SEO freelancers? This might be something you want to get to know in your own community, attend meetups, talk to people, maybe talk to businesses, and then see what works best. Getting your first clients. This is the big one, because getting your first clients is one of the most exciting steps, because this really makes freelancing a reality. This means that you have built your business, you have won the trust of a client, you've gotten them to sign a contract, and you're bringing in freelancing revenue. This is really cool when you can bring in your first client. And this is an important question. What's the number one best way to get your first SEO clients? I want you to type in the chat box what you think the answer to this question is. What do you think that the number one best way to get your first SEO clients in? I want you to type this into the chat box. Don't worry, you can do it anonymously, only I will see it. And I just want to know what you think. I'll wait a second for a few answers to come in, but I want to take a pulse on what you think this might be the best or most effective way to get freelancing clients. Crystal replied, networking. That's one of my favorite. Networking is great. And then another anonymous person, Upwork. Yep, Upwork is great. Freelancer, all those great job holders, portals, those are great. So those are definitely great options to finding new clients. Based on my experience, the answer is, oops, my slide's working, by telling everyone in your network. So Crystal was right, hit that spot on. Hands down, this is the #1 best way to get your initial clients. So this is how I got all my initial clients, was literally by telling everyone 6 months in advance that I wanted to take on freelancing work. So you have to tell people, because otherwise, how can someone refer you work if they don't know that you're looking for it? When I left Zillow, I told everyone that I was hoping to freelance, and even told my old boss months before. I told all my SEO friends. I told all my colleagues when I gave my notice at my job, people that I had been close to in the industry, so or people that worked at other agencies. So you know what? All those people actually referred me some of my initial clients. So some of my initial clients were referrals from my old coworkers at Zillow. They were referrals from some of my old friends that work at other agencies where I was able to white label services, from my old boss, from some other colleagues. So moral of the story is that leveraging your network is one of the easiest and most effective ways to get started. And this is one of my favorite places to start when it comes to building your first clients. Here are some other ways where you can find SEO freelance work without advertising. We do talk about advertising some in my more advanced SEO freelancing training, but for most folks who are just starting out, you likely have a limited budget, and these will be good places to start if you don't necessarily have a strong network. So this includes things like freelancing websites, like Upwork, Freelancer, like we just talked about, anonymous mentioned in the chat box. Fiverr is a good place. And then there are a lot other websites for international audiences, like if you're in the UK or Australia or Canada. Every country kind of has their own mix of specialty freelance websites. Next, looking for contract positions or part-time positions on LinkedIn. This is also one of my favorite places to start, where you can look for remote contract or part-time positions that you might be actually working with a company, but it's essentially like you are a freelancer because you're working part-time, you're working remote, it's contract. I got a lot of business through this actually my first year and a half. White label services for agencies, overflows, contracting with other consultants. Like I said, I did this at first. When I first started consulting, one of my good buddies worked at a large agency that's really well known in the industry, and they brought me in to work on some specific clients. And then one of my contract positions through LinkedIn was working with an agency in New York for some of their clients. So agencies are often looking for overflow work just to kind of pad contracts. So great place to start. You can also look at industry-specific job sites, like Credo is a great place to start. My buddy John Doherty runs that, and they have a really talented pool of SEO freelancers, consultants. You can also look at remote working websites like FlexJobs. That's another one of my favorite places to start, since FlexJobs has remote part-time work. So it's not like you're going into an office, even if you're looking for part-time work, but you can still get that flexibility as a freelancer. So these are great places to start to get these initial clients if you don't have a strong network, and even if you have a strong network, to kind of pad your client book. Crafting your pitch is is an important step along the way. So once you find your client prospects through all those client acquisition methods we talked about, it's really important to craft your sales pitch. And I follow a specific set of guidelines for my introductory or sales calls. So the introductory call is really a very important step when it comes to landing any new client. I call this your introductory call, your consult call, your sales pitch, whatever you name it. This is your first interaction with this client where you can really make a great first impression and sell your services. So you want to leverage your strengths and market differentiators to make sure they understand why they should work with you versus someone else. So one of my canned differentiators is, hey, you know, I have worked in all different areas of SEO, including agency, in-house, and, you know, now as a consultant freelancer. I know what it's like to work in-house. I know how big agencies work. When you work with me as a freelancer, you get a lot more hand-holding and customization than if you were working with a large agency. So they really get that one-on-one approach with me. It's more intimate. They get a lot better service versus a larger agency. So no offense to those larger agencies out there, but that is an important market differentiator. And clients, prospective clients, like to hear that they'll get better service and support. And more importantly, you want to be a professional and establish your SEO credibility. They want to believe that you are the SEO expert that can help them. You need to build that trust by being a professional and make sure they understand that you're the SEO that will help build their business. So once they believe that, then that's an important step into signing the client. During the sales call, it's very important to make sure the client feels like you've really heard their pain points and understand what they're truly looking for. So these are things that I very consciously practice within my sales or introductory calls. For instance, you want to ask about their pain points and goals. Ask about what are they struggling with SEO today and what do they want SEO to do for their business. Clients will tell you exactly what they're struggling with and where they want to go. You want to listen to the client. I have a bad habit of interrupting sometimes. I've had to work very hard at being professional, calm, quiet, and just listening to the prospective client. Then repeating their goals and hopes. I try to mix in, honestly, some verbatim terminology that they use because that's a great way to reaffirm that you've listened, you've heard them. So if they're like, hey, we're having a really hard time getting our Google Maps showing in local results. You can say, well, I know you've talked about how it's been challenging getting your Google Maps showing up in local results, and these are 3 reasons why I think I can help you with that. Then you want to establish a follow-up timeline. Very clear, leave the conversation with action items on your end. My canned response is, all right, well, this has been really great and helpful. Let me take this back to the drawing board. I'll create a proposal and get back to you by mid next week. And then I send them that proposal by mid next week, or if for any reason I'm delayed, I shoot them an email to have proactive communication that illustrates I'm a reliable professional and I can give them an updated timeline. The big question to you, this is my big question to you now, what is holding you back? So what's holding you back from going full-time freelancing? Everyone's got a reason. So I have my reasons and everyone has a reason. That what's really holding you back? If you could comment into the chat box again why you haven't started freelancing yet, let me know. I mean, is it time? Is it overwhelmed? Whatever your reason is, let me know why you haven't started freelancing because you're probably not alone. You probably have the same feelings that most other professionals do when it comes to starting your own business and working for yourself. So I see we have a couple anonymous answers rolling in. So this first one here, let me get into this. No time with full-time job and family. Yes, that is totally understandable. Having a full-time job already and having a family does have a lot of your existing business time obligations. I mean, I get that. Everyone's going to have their own times and streets when it comes to providing for their family and managing that time. So, unfortunately, in that situation, you're going to have to hopefully work with your partner if you have one or get some extra help and just try to carve out some extra time in the short term. Security, that is such a good one because that's one that really resonated for me as well. It can be a big concern when you're launching out on your own and it's just an uncertain feeling. So, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be uncertain, and that's what we've talked about, trying to plan this strategically so you can launch into freelancing feeling confident. Not sure where to get clients. That is definitely a reality and can be an issue from some folks. We just talked about a few great ways where you can get clients, and I'm going to dive into some information about more advanced training where you can learn more about more advanced client acquisition tactics that I teach. So even if you don't have experience doing this before, there is a blueprint to follow. Okay, so let's move on here. Successful freelancing can change everything. So how about if I told you that if you really are able to successfully freelance, it can change your life? I know it changed mine, and if it can change my life as dramatically as it did, then I'm sure it can for yours too. So successful freelancing can change everything. Let's go back to this sexy chart real quick. I just want to remind you how much potential there is with SEO freelancing full-time. Starting to SEO freelance full-time changed everything for me, and I've been able to get so much freedom and fulfillment with my business, especially with more income than I ever thought possible with a flexible schedule. So don't get me wrong, it can be hard work at times, insanely hard work if you want to get to those really high revenue price points like where I'm at. However, it doesn't have to be. Honestly, I was bringing in $20K a month and working part-time, to be honest. So once you get to that level and you learn how to manage your clients and your workflows and your business, and you get a steady stream of new clients, it's definitely possible to work hard at times, but also have a lot of freedom. Okay, let me ask you today, why did you show up here today? If you're an SEO or digital marketer, you might feel frustrated because you are tired of working for someone else, your boss, and the rigid 9-to-5 employee life. I know how you feel. That was definitely one of my realities. You don't want to cap on what you can earn as an employee, and you want more financial freedom. Yes, who doesn't want that, right? You know there's opportunity for SEO freelancing out there, but you're not really sure where to start. Or you want the ability to work on your own schedule, work from anywhere you want, but that's not an option in your current job. So what can SEO freelancing really do for you in your life? So honestly, I believe huge shifts can happen when you successfully learn how to freelance or find and close SEO freelancing contracts. For instance, you can command 2 to 3 times your regular salary, bring in more income than you ever have before. You can find flexibility and freedom to work on your own terms, when you want, where you want, and with whom you want. So honestly, no more bad clients that you're stuck with, and that annoying boss. Like I mentioned, my boss when I had my first remote job, oh no, I don't want to go back to that situation ever again. You can also take pride in owning your own business instead of working for someone else and contributing to someone else's bank account. And then you have peace of mind knowing that you can effectively find, close, and maintain profitable SEO consulting contracts. So that will really help propel you into having a stable, lucrative freelance business, which is really what the end goal is for most people. And the big question is, how do I get all of this to work so I can get my freelancing business up and running quickly? So how do you do that? How do you actually get your freelancing business up and running quickly? So there are a couple different options. You can take the complicated, longer, confusing option. This is the first option. This might be figuring it out on your own, second guessing yourself along the way. I did this with the Holocene digital route. It's not very fun. It's not very effective. It's very time consuming. Or you can do the faster, simple, and strategic approach that follows a path from my experience with a tried and true method and blueprint that will cut out all the time wasting crap that you really don't need. So I want to introduce you, I'm so excited to introduce you to the SEO Freelance Academy. This is my digital course to help you kickstart your SEO consulting business and give you the essential building blocks to successfully plan, launch, and scale your own SEO freelancing business. In the SEO Freelance Academy, this is the step-by-step system to start and grow a 6-figure SEO freelance business to make more money and work on your own terms. Even if SEO freelancing seems totally daunting right now, even if you don't think you have enough SEO experience, and even if you're still working your 9-to-5 job, trying to get freelancing clients on the side so you can make more money or eventually freelance full-time. In the SEO Freelance Academy, you're going to learn my exact process for building a 6-figure SEO consulting business in less than 6 months. I'm going to share my exact business blueprints and SEO freelance tactics. So if that sounds pretty good, you are going to get a lot of great information in the SEO Freelance Academy. So here's what you're going to get once you enroll in the SEO Freelance Academy. You're going to get 6 easy-to-follow modules of the SEO Freelance Academy training program. You'll get immediate access to the introductory lessons and then the first module. Over the next 5 weeks, you'll get a new module every week with the course curriculum that will allow you to go through your materials at your own pace and put lessons into action. You'll also get a series of video lessons, audio files, PDF downloads, and real-life examples of SEO freelance business resources and all the training materials. This program will give you practical advice that you can implement immediately, and it's all broken down into small, manageable chunks. You get lifetime access and free unlimited course updates. So you'll be able to refer back to the course anytime so you'll never get overwhelmed or feel like you're falling behind. You can always come back to the lessons again and again whenever you need or just want to refresh your memory. You'll also get 9 super helpful bonuses that will help you implement what you learned in the course into action. So including workbooks, checklists, guides, and then you'll even get 3 group coaching calls with me and other SEO Freelance Academy students. So we'll be doing group coaching calls 1 a month over the next 3 months where we can work through any unique questions you have directly. Let's walk through each of the modules real quick to give you some more information about the SEO Freelance Academy. Module number 1 is getting ready to launch your SEO freelancing business. Module number 1 is available immediately after you enroll. You'll learn how to set up your business for success by creating a simple business plan, structuring your business the right way, and then preparing a solid foundation for working with clients. You'll then figure out how to calculate your freelancing break-even number so you can know when it's time to leave your current job. We'll walk through my exact workbooks and calculations that I used here. Next, identify the key must-haves to build your SEO credibility, gain trust of potential clients, whether you are relatively unknown in the industry or whether you are known in your niche or industry or area. So these are things that are great for people who want to go freelance and also people who might just have started their own freelancing. It's always great to get your name out there, build that credibility. We'll also set up your brand, including your business name, website, marketing materials, so people really know your business is legit. And then your freelancing business essentials in place. So you can invoice clients easily, get your taxes squared away. We'll get all those essential, unglamorous systems in place so you don't have to worry about that once you launch. Module number 2 will map out your services and fees for pricing your SEO freelancing. We'll decide on your ideal customer so you know exactly who you're selling to and why they actually need you. We'll plan your SEO offerings, including what services will be customizable, which ones shouldn't be. This step will make you more confident every time you talk to a client. And then we'll figure out exactly how much you're going to charge so you avoid undervaluing your services and make sure your freelancing is profitable. Then we'll learn how to avoid the biggest mistake that SEO freelancers make when setting their own freelancing prices. Module number 3 is all about how to get that steady stream of new clients and close those client deals. Yes, we want those client accounts and freelancing revenue. In this module, you're going to learn how to take the first step towards going out on your own by getting those first clients. So even if it's on the side while you're still working or at your traditional job, we'll walk through some advanced strategies step by step. Learn how to confidently tell other people about your business and leverage your own network, and then how to consistently find SEO freelance clients and contracts outside of your existing network, since this is a big concern for many folks. We'll learn how to perfect your sales pitch and gain the trust of clients by approaching new prospects the right way. This will include my must-have checklist for every sales call. We'll walk through my workflow for having effective sales calls that close deals. Then we'll also learn how to create compelling project proposals, effortlessly follow up on sales calls, and close those client deals with confidence. I'll give you a blueprint for all of that. Module number 4 is about managing clients and keeping them happy. In this module, you'll learn how to onboard new SEO clients and set those initial expectations. I'll teach you why this is so important and walk through my step-by-step process for kicking off projects with new clients. Then we'll talk about how to keep existing or returning clients coming back and back again, and why this is so much easier and so much more cost-effective than getting new clients. You'll also learn how to manage ongoing client relationships, keep them happy, including my individual pro tips for client management and communication, and then how to deal with unhappy clients. No one wants to deal with that, but unfortunately, it might happen from time to time. And when things go wrong, such as algorithm updates, SEO performance issues, mismanaged expectations, there is an easy path to correct that and get them back on track. In Module 5, you'll learn how to manage the day-to-day operations of your freelancing business with ease. In this module, you'll learn how to effectively manage your freelance business operations, day-to-day tasks, so you can avoid some of those usual freelancing struggles. I'll give you my top recommendations for essential SEO freelance business management tools, as well as SEO research tools. And then you'll be able to decide on what to automate or outsource in your business, help you figure out when it's time to offload things like bookkeeping, tax prep, basic SEO research, and then also how to get more done every day by managing your time better and setting healthy boundaries with clients as a freelancer. Module number 6 is all about how to scale and grow your freelance business to 6 figures. Since this is the goal for everyone in the SEO Freelance Academy, we want to get to that 6-figure mark. That's the goal, and that will represent more financial freedom. You'll learn how to hit the sweet spot with profitability by using teams of contractors or employees for your freelance business. You'll learn how to future-proof your business when it comes to keeping it secure long-term, so you can have your freelance business a year or 2, 5 down the road. And then you'll learn how to productize your SEO knowledge by creating scalable online products like courses, ebooks, automation funnels for clients. So we'll learn all of those great tactics for scaling your business. Now let's take a quick look at some shameless love from some of my existing and previous clients, students, and what people are saying about the SEO Freelance Academy. So Laura B is saying that Kristen is my go-to SEO professional when it comes to strategy and tactics. Sonia R is saying Kristen's course is a must for anyone thinking of becoming an SEO freelancer. Romana is saying I would highly recommend Kristen and consider her an absolute asset to our planning process. Now, let me tell you about those super helpful bonuses in the SEO Freelance Academy that are curated to enhance your learning and help you tactically take away the steps that you'll learn in each of these modules. The 9 helpful bonuses that are offered in the SEO Freelance Academy help you turn that learning into action. Number 1 is my consulting break-even spreadsheet. I'm going to give you my exact Excel spreadsheet with templates to figure out your break-even point with customizable scale for salary, benefits, taxes. You'll get your SEO brand and business setup checklist to make sure you're staying on track as you get your freelancing business set up. And then your SEO product planning and pricing workbook. This will help you map out your ideal client, specific services, and plan your fees accordingly. Bonus number 4, sales call discussion outlines. I'll give you my tried and true sales call outlines and must-haves for each pitch. Bonus number 5 is sample SEO proposal template. You'll get my exact proposal template in an editable, customizable Word document so that you can customize, plug and play for your own business. Then I'll give you my sample SEO consulting contract so you can customize for your own business. You can hit the ground running with your proposal and contract in hand. And then bonus number 7, client onboarding management checklist to make sure you make a good first impression on your clients and keep them. Bonus number 8, guide to essential SEO tools and business software so you can get the exact tools and softwares that I use to keep my business running. And then bonus number 9 is that guide to scaling and managing contractors. Then we'll get live group coaching calls with yours truly, me, and other SEO Freelance Academy students. So you'll be able to join 3 45-minute group coaching calls over the next 3 months, where we'll have one each month over the next 3 months to make sure you have time to digest the training course, put this into action. I'll be there to work through with any questions that come up and make sure that you're working through the materials successfully. If you can't attend in person, no sweat. You can send your questions into me in advance and I'll make sure to cover them on the call with our team and send out a replay afterwards. So this is a brand new offering in the SEO Freelance Academy that's valued over $1,200. So don't miss out on these live group coaching calls. And then don't worry if you want some extra one-on-one support. We have some other options available to you during enrollment if you need some more direct access to me and want some more personal support. You'll be able to get that through the group coaching. All right, so for those who are ready to go with the SEO Freelance Academy, I'm offering an exclusive one-time webinar fast action bonus of $100 off your course enrollment today only. I won't be announcing this any other place, but I won't be sending any other reminders. So this coupon is valid until midnight tonight, Pacific Standard Time. Use SFA100 as your coupon code at checkout. So I want to reward you early adopters if you're ready to sign up today, and I want to give you some extra love and appreciation for enrolling today. So again, this fast action bonus will only be available to those who enroll in SEO Freelance Academy today. And for those in different time zones, we'll make sure to get this to you. Shoot me an email and I'll show you how to enroll today and take advantage of this special fast action bonus savings, SFA 100. Again, some more shameless love from folks and students I've worked with over the years. That Bobby S. says, Kristen's recommendations were immediate, thoughtful, and best of all, actionable. Emma says, anyone looking for an amazing, comprehensive SEO course, look no further. And Corrine says, Kristen is a fantastic thought partner, consultant, and educator. So what's your investment for SEO Freelance Academy? How much is this going to cost me? Enrollment in the SEO Freelance Academy will be open for the next 5 days at a price of $97 per month for 12 months. So again, if you use SFA 100, your fast action bonus, you'll get $100 off, basically save your first month, or you can save $167 by paying in full and use that fast action bonus to be discounted to $897. So either way, pick the payment plan at $97 a month for 12 months, or you can save extra by paying in full. Whatever works for you, you will get lifetime course access no matter what. So get locked in at this price. Oops, sorry, the door, my dog ran into the door. Someone's at our front door. Again, live webinar, anything can happen when we have a herd of animals outside my office. Go to SEOFreelanceacademy.com/enroll right now. Today, that's where you'll be able to register for the SEO Freelance Academy. SEOFreelanceacademy.com/enroll. Enrollment is only open until June 18th, so next Tuesday. So be sure to sign up right now. I haven't opened this in a while, and enroll today to make sure you save your seat, especially with the introductory rate. Here, I'm going to show you what to expect once you go to SEOFreelanceacademy.com/enroll and the course overview page, and just show you what to expect. So go to the course overview page for the SEO Freelance Academy. You'll be able to enroll in the SEO Freelance Academy, including selecting your payment options, and then you'll be taken to your checkout page where you can use your coupon code and set up your account. You'll be assigned a receipt and login information to be able to set your login details for your course information and dashboard. You'll also be emailed all of this information as well. And then you can go to your course library. From there, you'll be able to access your course library, where you'll be able to dive into the SEO Freelance Academy and then your individual course dashboard. Once you're in each module, you can go and navigate to each individual lesson. You'll be able to watch the video and presentation for each lesson, download all the necessary materials like transcripts, slides, recordings, bonuses, and then work through the course at your own pace. Now that you've had a glimpse of course enrollment, process, and dashboard, let's recap everything about the SEO Freelance Academy. In this course, once you enroll in the SFA, the SEO Freelance Academy, you'll get all 6 core modules of the SEO Freelance Academy training program, including instant access to the first module and a new module every week for the next 5 weeks. You'll get transcripts, audio files of every lesson in the course. You get PDF downloads of all my slide presentations. You'll get free, unlimited updates to the course as it changes, as SEO's industry evolves. You'll get 9 helpful bonuses guiding you through the training program and actionable real-life use. And then you'll get 3 group coaching sessions with me directly over the next 3 months. And then you'll get a 30-day, no-hassle, money-back guarantee on enrollment. So if you decide this course isn't a good fit for you within the first 30 days after your purchase, I'll refund your money, no questions asked. So once again, just hop over to SEOfreelanceacademy.com/enroll. Okay, folks. Here we are at the end of the masterclass and into the Q&A section. Thank you for hanging with me throughout this masterclass. I hope it's been incredibly helpful on helping you set up the framework for your own profitable 6-figure SEO freelancing business. So I want to show you proof in the numbers that others have benefited from my course and training. So there's some more testimonials here and information on how to contact us if you have any questions. Shoot us an email, info@kristenbauer.com. Myself, my assistant will be there to respond directly. If you have any questions at all, especially today while that fast action bonus is in play, make sure you get all your questions answered to make sure you enroll in confidence at SEOfreelanceacademy.com/enroll. So beyond launch for this SEO Freelance Academy, I sincerely hope this masterclass was useful. Let's dive into some questions that you might have. If you have any burning questions or are looking for some extra guidance on this masterclass, please feel free to drop your questions into the comment box. You can ask them anonymously to just me or to the whole group. Feel free, leave your questions in there. No pressure. And again, I hope this masterclass was helpful and useful for launching your own SEO freelancing career. So it seems like everyone is doing SEO freelancing right now. And why aren't you? So let's dive into any Q&A for growing your own freelancing career. So I'm going to take a quick sip of water and wait for some questions to roll in. Beyond launch for this, I want you to take away these actionable steps from the masterclass. So those steps on understanding the market, understanding how to get your business started, to go out freelancing on your own, how to get those initial clients, and how to master the sales process. The SEO Freelance Academy really takes everything we talked about today into more detail and actionable steps. So the SEO Freelance Academy really walks through in very detailed step-by-step instructions everything we talked about. So for instance, with the client acquisition, I'll walk you through some exact real-life strategies for those client acquisition tips process. You'll walk through my exact sales calls, pitches. We'll work through how to map out your services and pricing. So the SEO Freelance Academy is really that detailed blueprint that will help you get from 0 to 6 figures with an SEO freelance business. Okay, so we have a few questions rolling in. First one here from Anonymous. Do you really think it's really possible for someone without a big network to make lots of money freelancing? I have a couple years experience, but don't know very many people in SEO. Okay, that's a great question and totally understandable. So what my initial answer for that is that yes, it's possible to make lots of money freelancing, but you might need to adjust your expectations a little bit at first. So if you only have maybe 1 to 2 years experience, you might not be able to charge those super high consulting rates right now. But that being said, even $50, $75 can still be a lot of money per hour if you're just getting started in SEO. I know when I was in SEO, even for a few years, that would have been a ton of money for me. So yes, it is possible. You just might be charging a lower price point at first, and then you might have to be a little more aggressive with some other client acquisition strategies to get the ball rolling on your client acquisition, build your client book, and build your network that way. So these are all things that we teach in the SEO Freelance Academy on ways to acquire clients without a network. So that might include some paid advertising. We do talk a lot about that. That'll include how to look for and apply to those contract positions, where to find those remote SEO jobs. So there are a lot of different ways that you have to get creative if you don't have a strong network. And I have done all of those client acquisition strategies. So I'm going to teach step by step how I gain clients outside of my network. So it's definitely possible. Okay, Gail's asking, what is it really like to work as a freelancer? What's your day-to-day, and do you feel isolated? Ooh, that is a really good question. And honestly, I get that so often when people find out I work from home, I have a freelancing and consulting business. The first thing I get from people is like, oh, I would never freelance. I would feel too isolated. Well, you know what? I love people. I love to talk to people, interact with people, and I actually had a great transition. So my husband and I always joke about how this transition for me, freelancing and working from home, was really pretty seamless. So I thought I would struggle with it more, but you know what? As a freelancer, you're going to have clients that you work with regularly. So I'm on Slack a lot with my clients, on email. I'm on video calls most of the time. So I'm talking to people throughout the day. So I personally don't feel isolated. I have a great home office. That's a nice, quiet space. And then I kind of set my own schedules in advance, so I know I have a little structure in advance for the week. And then, to be honest, freelancing is so great. Like, you can get up at 5 o'clock and work, take a break during the day, come back and work a little bit without telling anyone. So, to be honest, I'm in my sweatpants and workout clothes unless I have a client meeting or I have to go anywhere, any other obligations. So, you know, as a freelancer, it's definitely a perk where you can just, you know, work from home, work out in your jammies or sweats or whatever's comfortable. So if I do have client calls, I do look professional and get ready. So that's just something in my process. In the SEO Freelance Academy, we do talk about how to structure your day as a freelancer to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So whether that's your mental health, whether that's boundaries with clients, so important, whether that's time management techniques for freelancers to help maximize your working time, and then essential tools on how to take care of yourself. So we talk a lot about that in the SEO Freelance Academy because it's really important. You need to take care of yourself since you are going to be your business. Okay, so Roger's asking here, what's the difference between the SEO Freelance Academy and this masterclass? Well, that's a really good question, Roger. Like I mentioned, the SEO Freelance Academy really takes everything we talked about here in detail in advanced steps. So we talked about in this masterclass kind of the tactical what to do, and the SEO Freelance Academy is the how. So we talk about the how to actually structure those sales calls and pitches, the how to actually look for new clients, and the how to actually structure your pricing and fees versus just the what. So the SEO Freelance Academy dives into that step-by-step blueprint on how to actually turn this into reality. And you also obviously get a lot of support from myself with group coaching calls, and I help guide you along the way with templates and blueprints, proposals, all of that good stuff to get you set up to run with a freelancing business. Okay, so Anonymous just sent me a question here. I just started my consulting business earlier this year. It's only been a few months, but I have already transitioned. What can the SEO Freelance Academy teach me? That is another really great question. And you know what? Some of my students are already in their own freelancing or consulting business. So while the SEO Freelance Academy really is designed to take you from full-time employee to full-time six-figure freelancer, there are some essential steps and information that a new freelancer or consultant can definitely benefit from. So even learning how to set up your business the right way, setting up your website, your branding, those are all things that anyone can learn as a freelancer on how to improve. And then how to get clients. So if you're a freelancer and you're kind of struggling to get clients, then that's definitely something that we'll walk through and teach you. You'll also learn how to create super polished proposals and win over clients in sales calls. So one of my students has been freelancing for 6 months, and you know what? We just overhauled her entire proposal process, made it so much more polished and professional, and she's been able to close client accounts and deals so much quicker and for more money since joining the SEO Freelance Academy. So it really can help new people or new freelancers learn how to launch their business and run with it successfully, as well as new freelancers learn how to improve and make their own business that much more effective and lucrative. Okay, so I'm only going to go through 1 or 2 more questions here since time is running out. But I just want to let you know that we will send a replay out afterwards later today. Don't forget about your SFA 100 Fast Action Bonus to get $100 off enrollment today. I'm not going to be sending any more reminders about it, so be sure to get that in today. Tonight at midnight Pacific time it expires, and I hope to see you on the inside. So I'll be sending out the replay and then some other course information reminders over the next few days. Okay, Alana asked the question. I live in a remote area and getting local clients would be tough. Can you help? And do you have any tips? Yes. Fantastic question. Big concern for a lot of people. If you don't live in an area that has a lot of local businesses, what do you do? Since I know we talked a lot about local today and how that can be a great option for people who are just getting into freelancing. So totally a valid question and very circumstantial for a lot of people. So getting local clients is going to be tough. Then yes, the SEO Freelance Academy will teach you other ways to get clients outside of your local community. So whether that is through broader networks, whether that's through freelancing job sites, we'll talk through how to win those contracts, how to build great profiles, and then also maybe how to get clients through other forms of acquisition, like any kind of advertising funnels or what to look for freelance remote positions. So there are definitely a lot more creative ways where you can get clients outside of your local community, and we'll teach all of that in detail in the SEO Freelance Academy. All right, folks. Well, we're running out of Q&A here. Don't have any new questions right now, but if anything comes up, feel free to shoot me an email afterwards. I definitely will respond. Want to make sure you get all your questions answered. Shoot us an email at info@kristenbauer.com. And don't forget to go to seofreelanceacademy.com/enroll to enroll in the SEO Freelance Academy today. Thanks for taking the time today to talk with me and join my masterclass. I sincerely hope this was a big help for starting your freelancing business, and I can't wait to see you on the inside with the SEO Freelance Academy. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.